I think I found the first crack in the armor of my frustration. I mentioned in my video the other day that the first 3 chapters of my story are really going to be where the war to get this story published is going to be fought. That is the thing I need to focus on the most, because that is what both, obviously, the agents are going to see first when I query them, but more importantly, that's really where my story is the weakest. The beginning seems to be the weakest part. Once I hit the end of the first act, Act 2 and 3 work great. It's merely the first 3 chapters, that first act, that is the biggest issue. And the reason why is not so much a plot point, it's not so much a structural reason. It's that I'm trying to do a lot with those chapters. I'm trying to present really the characters and the environment they are in, all within those first couple chapters. So they're trying to do a whole lot. So what I did today was to try and combat this a little bit is I went to a library here, as you can see, and just started reading. I started going through basically a bunch of different books by authors that have done techniques similar to ones that I want to try and implement in my story. And so I just went through and started studying some of them, seeing how they've been doing their techniques, and then what I can basically pull from that. As a big rule of writing is, when you are frustrated, look to the greats. Look to the authors that have done whatever you're trying to achieve. Look to the authors that have pulled that off first and see how they did it. Analyze specifically how they did it and then mimic it. Learn how to take away their technique and apply it to you. Learn how you can take the principles of what they applied and then learn how to apply them into your own writing. It's a skill. It's a skill to be able to first recognize what authors can do. So obviously just discovering what the authors are actually doing, that's a skill. And the second part of the skill is learning how to translate that over. It's not just recognizing what they are doing, but then figuring out how can you apply that? How can you do something similar? It's a 2-part exercise. It's a 2-part technique, but it is so critical. Analyzing books, for the most part, exists for this reason. You analyze and you read other people's books as a writer so that you can learn how to take their techniques. You learn how to sort of steal their abilities, in a sense, right? It's almost like like the freaking Space Jam movie there, where the little aliens there take the other guys, take all the great basketball players' skill. It's the same thing with reading other authors. You're learning how to sort of extract their ability. So you can analyze their books. You can figure out how they did it. You can see behind the magic of the magic trick, in a sense, right? You're the magician looking at another magician's trick and dissecting it, and then taking those principles and applying it to your own magic routine. It's the same thing. And so a lot of today was just trying to look up authors that have done things similar to me, that have tried to do opening acts that are similar to how I'm trying to structure mine, and just seeing how do they do it, how are they pulling it off, what am I missing? And so for me, today I got my first break. I got my first sort of inclination into what I need to alter. I'm very surprised that I got it this early. I'm very surprised I got even this much of basically a dent in the armor, to be frank. Usually when I'm stuck on a chapter or stuck in a section, it lasts for days and weeks. And I'm not out of it yet by any means, but just the fact that I've got at least a glimmer of something to do is awesome. That for me is fantastic, because I can kind of push things a little bit further now. So for the next, at least probably for the next day or so, I'm going to do a bit more research here. I'm still going to be trying to make line edits on about 10 pages a day still, so I'll still be doing that for the story. But a lot of my effort's going to be spent on just trying to restructure these early paragraphs first as well. It's kind of a 2-pronged battle, where I'm doing both kind of I won't say monotonous, because line is not really that monotonous, but I'll be doing more of the straightforward line edits, as well as doing much more substantive restructuring of those first couple chapters here, in the coming days. But again, fortunately, I was able to find a way, or I found a potential solution, to my first act problem.